In this video I'm going to show you how to create a new media in Fiery Prep It. Now to do this we're going to go down to our server and we're going to double click on that and that'll open up this. Then we're going to go to our Cut Media Manager. Now you see I've got quite a few different medias in my enabled materials and then I also have some in my disabled ones as well. This just means that I've got sort of a little bit of an easier list for me to look through when I'm trying to do jobs on the fly. I don't really use these materials on the right hand side, but I might use them in future. Now what you're going to do is you're actually just going to click on an existing material. You're going to copy it and then you're going to change the name of it. And then press OK. Now what that means is that you can create one material which is your default material. That gives you your settings for either your role or your sheet fed materials, and then you can just alter things like the sizes or the reg mark settings or something like that. I'm going to go on to my new material. I'm going to go to edit, and then the first thing I've got is my sheet size, so I can then create a new sheet size and the name is called 1300 on this one, and then I've got 1300 by 10,000, and I've told this to be I've told Prep It to use this as my default sheet, also to use it as my standard. Now the standards are a sheet that will be cut out of your remaining sheet, and we can turn that on if we go into our nesting and it says fill sheet with standards. So that means that any spare space will be taken up by that size that you've defined, and then it will cut those sizes out of your material. We can add multiple sizes in here and we can activate them later in time. However, I do actually like to just create new materials for different sizes. I think it's a little bit quicker and a little bit easier to get to. If I go into my nesting, this is just for sort of nesting sort of layout, so distance between jobs, nesting margin, also how long it's going to take to do that nesting process. We've got our angles. That trim sheet is for trimming off the actual material. So if you've got a job and it's on a roll fed, for example, you can have a line put on your job so that it will actually guillotine cut that job off. Fill sheet with standards we've already gone through. Grouping is for when we're grouping in nesting, so we can say, right, we want to do it via the name or the note or whatever. Then reg marks. Now the default setting that I use for my Consberg is 6mm for the size of the reg mark. Distance curve 10mm, but we can bring that closer in if needed. Distance between each reg mark is 300mm. And again, that's just on your preferences. And then default registration for direct. This is when we're not using the nesting process. We're just creating a job straight away. We can have different one for the direct and different setting for the nesting. Now I'm going to use on this one center marks 4 sides. That's put registration marks around the outside of my job, all 4 sides, and it will do them however many we need to fulfill the distance that we've told it to use, that 300mm. If I use corner marks, it will just put marks on each corner. I use that mainly for my sheet fed material, but anything that's on a roll I will always use center marks, and I put them on both of them. Reg marks is positive, just means that it's going to be a black dot instead of an outside dot. Barcodes, we can turn those off if needed. And then eyelets, this is just for your eyelet setup. I'm going to then press OK on that one, and then press close, and then press OK. Then when I go back into Prep It and go to import, choose my job, press open, we should now have the option to use test. So that's a new media created in Fiery Prep It.